everyone. Welcome to our YouTube channel, Abundantly Purposeful, where we are working to help you to see the importance of combining your purpose and your finances so that you can create a really rich and fulfilling life, that you can design a life of your dreams. My name is Kristyn Cozad, and I am a purpose coach. I go in depth with women to get really clear on your purpose and your core values and create that bigger vision moving forward. And I'm the owner of Illuminating Purpose. And this is my partner, Shelly Schell.
Hi, thank you guys for joining us today. Great to be here. I'm Shelly Schell, and I've been a financial advisor for 23 years, and I am a co-founder of a firm called Prism Financial Strategies. But what I really love about what I do is I get to educate women and talk about how they have a relationship with money and what that means to them and how to make it like a little bit more meaningful and deeper so that they can make some real valued connections and really create purpose with their finances, which is why Kristyn and I are here sharing our conversations with you all, because what she does to help people and women get clear on their message relates wholeheartedly with their money and finances. So today we're excited to talk about what we do every day, but it's really specifically about holistic well-being. And what does that mean? For me, that's incorporating everything in my life that has meaning, right? And bringing it all together so that I don't feel like I'm compartmentalizing or I'm leaving pieces of the puzzle out in my life. How about you, Kristyn? What does that mean to you?
It means kind of gathering up all the different areas of life to live a life of real well-being. So it's not only being focused on my work life, it's understanding that it takes a lot of different pieces to be really balanced and in health. It takes our relationships, it takes our work, it takes our finances, it takes the meaning that we work with. And I think there are really good ways to start to really consider. I think that as women, it's really easy to neglect certain parts of our lives. Whether we feel like, well, that shouldn't be important, the self-care part shouldn't be important for me, or, having time just being outside or playing shouldn't be important to me, when it really creates a more balanced sense of well-being for a woman. And Shelly and I were talking before we got started here, and we both have sort of a practice of sitting down on Sunday and taking a look at our week and sort of putting in the big activities that we know we have to do. And what I found in doing that is that it frees up more time for me to add the other parts that maybe aren't as time consuming, but are still really deeply important to my soul.
I like that. So I do that, as we talked about on Sundays. But what's interesting to me is, okay, I'm a financial planner, and in my practice of holistic investment management and planning, financial planning, we look at the picture holistically for money, right? Well, what happens over time, I'm a business owner, I'm a mom, I have all these, manage my house, my family, all these things. And what happened to me a couple of years ago is I started to say, well, I'm really compartmentalizing my business and my family, right? And I'm not taking care of myself, my well-being. And so my practice started a couple of years ago on Sundays to say, okay, I kind of established what is really important to me in my life. Well, it's, for me, just as an example, it's family, it's my business, my work, my health, and my well-being. And if I do in my Sunday activity to write this all down, I kind of have it all listed every week. And I'm like, what am I going to do what's important to me this week for each of those areas of importance to me, which is my whole list, makes me whole as a person, right? And when I look back before I did this practice, or if I miss the practice, or if I don't kind of check in with it during the week, I realize that I'm really getting off balance, and something goes kind of feels off. I just feel off or something, to try to describe that a little more in depthly. But so I feel like once I started that process, it really made a big difference in looking at my holistic well-being. And then I don't avoid things either that I don't want to deal with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it frees up that time. Now, explain to us what you mean by compartmentalizing. You said you were compartmentalizing your work and your family life. I think a lot of women can relate to that. What did that look like for you?
Well, for me, and I see this with a lot of people that I work with and also with friends, is we go, okay, I've got my work here, right? And it means nothing. I mean, other than it provide a provider as a provider financially, maybe, but I've got my work here, I've got my family here. Oh, and then there's me on the sidelines, my health and my well-being, my laughter, my joy, whatever, being taking care of myself, time, self-care. And they were all separate. And when I started to kind of I look at and I do vision planning, kind of some visual planning, and I write it all down. And when I realized that if myself, if I don't take care of myself first, right, and my health, maybe that's for me, that's working out or eating healthy. If I don't do that, then I'm not a very happy person, or I tend to deal with stress a little differently when it comes to my kids. And then they're not happy. And then we're not doing fun, interactive things together. And then I'm just going to work, and I love what I do. I feel really blessed that I have such a joy for what I get to do every day. But then it became, as I used to compartmentalize, it used to be like, okay, here's my work, here's my family, here's myself. When do I make time for all of them? But when I kind of put it all together and I realized that they all feed each other and they're all interrelated, I found my purpose, right? I found that purpose, meaning that they all work together to help each other. My work, being a business owner, teaches my children that about money, about responsibility, that I'm a working mother and I can do these things. That's being an example. So that's probably, another area, just as before I never did that. It was compartmentalized and mommy goes to work. That's it. And the more I start talking about what I do and the interactions of why I work and the importance of that, then they learn from me. Does that make sense?
Completely, completely. And I think you bring up a really interesting point when you were talking about the health piece and the money piece, all of it. And I think that every woman is a little bit different in what a holistic life looks like to them and what well-being looks like to them, right? Some
Very true.
people, are not interested in some of the things that I would maybe make major time for. And I think that you have to be the one who determines how to incorporate your mind and your heart and your body and your spirit. And how you do that, it's a really fun thing to kind of play with. That it's something that we want to encourage you to start to consider instead of just focusing, like Shelly was saying about the compartmentalizing, focusing on one area of life and really segmenting all the parts of life and not doing them sort of in tandem.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really important thing. I think it's really easy for us to get distracted too, focusing on one area of life and then getting really off balance. And then we correct and it ends up being a total different imbalance instead of just learning that, hey, if I create my schedule, if I chunk my time, if I have certain work hours, I'm more likely to work and use that time very well than if it just bleeds. And that's just kind of the trial and error of seeing what works for you and seeing what areas of life are really important for you to make time for. And knowing that, the enjoyment of life is our honor. Like that is something that we get to do if we choose it. And it's a very conscious choice. I think it's a really important thing to remember that, if fitness is important for you this year and you're kind of getting new on that track, find something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Don't go beat yourself up for 45 minutes. That's a part of life where you get to move your body, whatever parts of your body move best, you get to move your body, you get to sweat it out and build health in your body. But something that, I think that idea of sort of playing with this and not getting too structured or too flowy, I think is really important with the balance of things. Because some days, Shelly, you might feel this way. Some days you'll get off work and you're just really tired. And the first thing you need to do is go hug your girls, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that that's a really important thing that we need to really pay attention to the needs of our life and in order to have that holistic life.
Yeah. Well, and I will say one thing too that I found in this is the guilt sometimes you feel guilty doing some more for yourself or more with your kids or more for work. When you start to combine them and look at them holistically, then that guilt goes away because you're being more fluid in what's important to you on an ongoing basis, and you're checking in. So with that said, I like to, how do I check in? We've talked about kind of our habits, on a Sunday afternoon. Is there any other action steps or ideas that you can share that you think would be helpful for our viewers?
Well, I think
or myself.
About yourself. Well, I love that idea. First of all, I just want to say about the guilt. That is a real thing.
It is.
And I think that you really need to be honest about how to shift that and what that looks like for you. So I really love the idea that, this really good thing that you do by going to work benefits your girls and you can teach them so much. And I think that's really important to sort of reframe that guilt and not be a prisoner to it. So, yeah, I think that it's really important to have some sort of a weekly or daily practice where you're checking in. I recently have started the practice of setting an alarm on my phone 3 times a day. And it just kind of alerts me, okay, what do I need to do? I need to be present here. Or there's, just being mindful about my life. It's been such a huge help in paying attention to what I need. And really, like, our bodies will speak to us, our lives will speak to us, our people will speak to us, our careers will speak to us. And setting that alarm makes me pay attention to what is the greater need right here. And sometimes it is breath work or do a meditation or call a friend or any number of things, or to get a task done for work that's really deeply important, that's going to move the ball forward. So I really like that idea of sort of a check-in, because we do get so busy with our lives where we lack that presence. And in order to have a holistic well-being, we really have to be present to our lives. So, and I love the idea of just kind of exploring what that looks like to you. Maybe it doesn't look the same as it is for Shelly and I. Maybe there's another area of life that you're thinking of that just really needs your attention, and just play with that and figure out within the realm of your life how you work it out. You are the CEO of your life. You are making the decisions. Remember, you have a choice.
So that is a great idea. I really like that. I've never done that daily. The one thing that I'm doing this year, which is a little bit, which I really enjoy because I'm a visual person, and put this out to everybody, is I do I like to do the vision boards, but I'm doing a financial vision board for as an exploration in a different way. And I'm going to be doing that with online to share with you. And Chris and I have talked about this. So we invite you to join us for that kind of fun exploration. But the reason for that is I'm a visual person and I like to put all these pieces together. And sometimes just in my daily practice, or my weekly practice and then reviewing it daily, it's just written and it gets a little bit more stagnant. So to do the visual part of it is, for me, for this year, my big holistic planning and making sure I'm not missing any of the pieces in the puzzle, long-term or short-term, that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm excited, and hopefully to share it with everybody out there. And, that's a fun activity.
I love it. And you know what? We just want to say thank you so much for joining us today in our conversation about holistic well-being, and leave comments. Let us know what that looks like to you. What did we miss that is really important to you? Where can you add to this conversation? We want to hear your thoughts and your ideas. If you have any ideas for future topics, let us know that as well. We're pretty much willing to engage any topic that's meaningful, and will create a fuller, richer life. So thank you so much for joining us at Abundantly Purposeful. Please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. Feel free to send this video on to anybody that you think could join in on the conversation that would enjoy that. Thanks again, guys.
Thanks. We'll see you soon.